UCL Fantasy Match Day 1 is just around the corner, and in today's video we're going to be going through my team selection ahead of the first game week. We're also going to be giving you guys the best data and stats you need to make the best decisions this season. Now before we dive into today's video, I just want to say that if you do enjoy the UCL Fantasy content, make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing as well, as there's going to be plenty more coming your way this season, and I will be doing a 2-hour live stream ahead of the first deadline as well, so make sure when you are subscribing you're hitting that bell notification so you will be notified when I do go live for that one. We'll be answering as many of your guys' questions, getting your team in the best shape for this upcoming season. Before obviously we go and take a look at the team, we're going to look at some data and of course discuss my chip strategy. Now I'm going for something a little bit different. I obviously played the Euro Fantasy, did extremely well, and I'm kind of going to take the principles I learned from that and apply it to this game as well. And basically what my first draft is going to be doing is basically just building for game week 1 and game week 3. So the players that you're going to see in my squad, it might look a little bit different to other content creators, and that is purely because my first draft is just going to be focusing on the first game week and the third game week as well. The plan is to use the limitless in MATCHDAY 2. Basically, I think this limitless should be used as early as possible, or as where there's kind of as many high quality teams playing lesser opponents. I've had a look through the fixtures and I do believe that MATCHDAY 2 is where a lot of the kind of big teams are playing lesser teams. It's also early in the tournament, so there's probably going to be less rotation within squads as well. And you do feel with the way that this new kind of format has been set up that teams want to be putting as many points on the board early as possible so they can rotate obviously a little bit later as the tournament does progress. So I think in game week 2 a lot of these teams are still going to be looking very, very strong, and that's why I'm planning on using the limitless. Then going forward we will be resetting the team for the kind of latter stages of the group stage, with of course a wild card in game week 4, looking at which teams have done well, looking at which teams as well still probably need some points, and by that point there probably will be a good template as well. Now of course, there are both pros and cons to this strategy that I'm doing. It does mean I don't have any chips for the latter stages of this competition, which is a bad thing. Obviously, if there's mass injuries or one of my teams that maybe I heavily back does, of course, leave the tournament, maybe there's a massive shock in the knockout stages, which is very, very possible within knockout football, then, of course, it would leave me in a very, very difficult position. However, we are going to back it. We're going to obviously use bookmakers' data and stuff like that. That's what I did in the Euros, and it worked pretty much 99% of the time. They got a lot of the decisions right, got a lot of the matchups right, and we did get very fortunate in that regard. So hopefully it does work again for this campaign, but obviously that is one of the drawbacks. However, there are plenty of pros as well. I think using it early, like I said, we have a lot more of the kind of bigger established teams playing lesser sides, so there's going to be more goals, a lot more kind of I would say players that are going to score extremely well. You see in the latter stages of the competition it gets a little bit more tighter, closer affairs, there aren't as many goals. Teams are just trying to progress, not actually go and bombard it. Whereas early stages of this, I feel people want to be getting points on the board, putting the goals in. Players will still be pretty fresh as well. You get to those kind of latter stages, sometimes there probably is going to be a little bit of fatigue, a lot more mental kind of, things. And different teams will be in different points as well with the league campaign. Obviously, early doors, they're probably going to be just trying to get as many points on the board within their league, their domestic leagues, and of course within the Champions League. Later on in the season, certain teams might be targeting certain competitions, and maybe we might see a little bit of rotation or fatigue further down the line as well. So for me, there are plenty of pros and of course plenty of cons to go with this strategy. However, I think getting out the gate early, targeting some of these players, targeting some of these teams as well to do extremely well over those opening 3 game weeks, reset ourselves back up for game week 4, for me feels like it could be a real worthwhile strategy. Taking a look at that MATCHDAY 2 fixture list, here we can see this is the reason that I've obviously kind of selected this week, because I just feel there's a lot of teams in here that I would be looking to kind of back quite heavily. Manchester City, probably worth a triple up with their players. Inter Milan as well, a great fixture. Barcelona against Young Boys, will definitely be looking at that one as well. Dortmund against Celtic, another fixture I probably would be targeting. Liverpool versus Bologna. You know, Bayern Munich away at Villa maybe makes the list. Real Madrid against Lille will definitely be in there as well. So there's a lot of high quality fixtures, and for a lot of teams that I feel could go and very comfortably win a couple, 3-4, maybe even 5-0 in some of these fixtures as well. So I want to back these fixtures and obviously have these high quality players within there. So that's my chip strategy. Let's move on to some projected data for the upcoming game weeks. Now I will be doing a full breakdown of every single fixture over on my Twitter, so make sure you are following me. It will pop above my head at some point. It is fpltom._. So if you want to go and follow me over on Twitter, again, there's a link in the description, but I will be posting full breakdowns of each fixture for clean sheets, win percentages, draw percentages, all that good stuff. So yeah, let's start off first with the clean sheet data for match day 1. As we can see, Bayern Munich top by a country mile, 51.3%. It is a great fixture they've got in match day 1, and the bookmakers are fancying them to go and get a clean sheet in that one. So it does look very, very good if you are maybe looking to back their defense as well. Celtic. Now, obviously, their fixtures do tail off after match day 1. However, if you are maybe looking to play the wildcard chip in 2, or maybe just looking for a cheap defender for just one game week, then Celtic could be a real defence that you want to target. Obviously, I kind of expected Real Madrid to be in this list as well, 42.6%. So any of their defenders could be really good buys as well. Then we've got Brest, City, PSG, and Sporting Lisbon all on 40% as well. So really, really good teams I would be looking to target for a clean sheet. Cities, obviously, there's always the big rotation and how that does affect them. Brest could be interesting. They've got decent fixtures in match day 1 and match day 3, so maybe if you like the strategy that I've just posed to you as well, their goalkeeper or defenders as well might be really, really decent options. PSG as well, they also fit into this category, as we'll come on to see a little bit later. Let's move on to projected goals though. As we can see, no real shock here. It is going to be Bayern Munich that are top with 2.4 projected goals. So the likes of Harry Kane, Musiala, Gnabry, all these players definitely going to be hot on our radars for this first match day as well. Definitely some great captaincy material as well on that first day. Real Madrid also looking good for projected goals. The likes of Kylian Mbappe and of course Vinicius definitely going to be on people's shopping lists. Celtic make it in here again. It is a great fixture for them, and you do feel they'll be going all out just to go and win that game as well. 1.92 projected goals is really, really decent. Good for PSG as well. Good for City. Villa make it in this list. Obviously, they are away in that game, but fair play to them. They're still projected to do quite well, so maybe the likes of Ollie Watkins after his brace this weekend could be on the radar as well. Barcelona, Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool and Juventus finish the list with 1.54 projected goals as well. So if I was just looking from a single game week perspective, definitely if any of the teams I'm targeting do feature on this list, I think it is a good kind of sign of things to come. However, of course, the bookmakers occasionally do get it wrong, so obviously if you do follow this data religiously and it does go wrong, don't come for my head, please. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed all that section, and let's dive on to my team selection ahead of match day 1. Now, wasting no time, let's dive into my match day 1 team selection for UCL Fantasy. As you can see with the goalkeeper picks, we have gone for the Juventus goalkeeper and we've gone for the Brest goalkeeper as well. The reason we've gone for both of these guys is, of course, they fit with the strategy we outlined. They've got a good fixture in 1 and a good fixture in 3 as well. So with their clean sheet percentages as well for this week, a 40% chance for Brest and, of course, a 36.4% chance of a clean sheet for Juventus. Both play on different days as well, so for me that just works, and we're very, very happy to have both of those goalkeepers as well within our side. Let's dive into the back line. We're going to start off with Maatsen first. Now, he hasn't started a Premier League game, however every time he's come on he's looked ridiculously bright, and I think with him coming on around the 60th minute, I feel he is being lined up for a European start. As we can see as well, it's going to be a great game for clean sheets for Villa. It's also going to be a great game for projected goals, 1.76. So there's a decent chance of a clean sheet. With his attacking nature as well, Maatsen, it could be one of those where he goes and gets an attacking return alongside a clean sheet, and it could be a real bonus. Now, this, of course, is a big gamble. Digne has started the season looking excellent. However, I do feel Digne might be rested for this game, as it is kind of a little bit of a lesser opponent. I feel he'll probably be prioritised for the Premier League at the moment, and Maatsen will be coming in for this Champions League performance. Next up is going to be Hakimi. 3 attacking returns in 4 games for PSG so far. Again, as we saw, really, really good clean sheet data for this game week. They've got an excellent set of fixtures for us to be targeting in both match day 1 and of course match day 3 for our strategy. Both home fixtures, one against Girona and then PSV in match day 3. So that very much suits our strategy that we are going to go for. Carvajal's in here, a 42.6% chance of a clean sheet for Real Madrid this week against Stuttgart. They don't have the easiest fixture. They do have Dortmund at home in match day 3. However, I still feel it's Real Madrid. They're at home. They probably still should boss it. So I'm feeling pretty confident on that one. Next up is going to be, I believe you pronounce it Inacio from Sporting Lisbon. If I do get that wrong, I do apologise. Anybody that's been around the channel long enough knows that my pronunciations are a little bit shaky. They play Lille in game week 1. Again, they did feature on the clean sheet percentages data as we saw. And then they've got Sturm Graz in game week 3, which is an absolutely excellent fixture for those clean sheets as well. He's only 4.5 million, currently 0% selected. People are not looking at this guy. People are probably not even looking at Sporting Lisbon as a team, but I think he could be a great addition to our back line. And then finishing up, we do have Grimaldo. Again, the fixtures are both there in match day 1 where they play Feyenoord, and then again in 3 where they play Brest. So we're very, very happy to have Grimaldo as one of our players. 2 great games coming up. And of course, 0.74 goal involvement per 90 last season. And, you know, if he can put up similar numbers to that in the UCL this season, then I definitely think he could be a stellar pickup for us and our side. So a very, very attacking back line. Lots of players that could go and get, you know, decent clean sheet data alongside, of course, attacking returns as well. So I'm very, very happy in that regard. Obviously, ball recoveries are in this game as well. So maybe we might see a switch when we do wildcard if certain players obviously are absolutely abusing and using, what's it called, ball recovery numbers. But we'll wait and see at that point, see which players are doing exceptionally well, and maybe we do have a switch in strategy. First gamble in midfield is going to be Cooper Myers. I absolutely love this guy. He's been one of my favourite players in European football that I've watched, and I was a little bit gutted that he moved to Juventus. However, he's only just started playing games for them. He does play in the early kickoff, so if it doesn't come off, I am tempted to move to Declan Rice. He's playing a lot more of a more progressive role over the past 2 seasons. And Arsenal's fixtures, yes, they play Atalanta away in game week 1. However, if we look to the betting percentages, it still looks quite good in that regard. However, in game week 3, they play Shakhtar at home. That seems like a little bit of a banker, and I'd be very, very happy to obviously have Declan Rice for one of those fixtures. But Cooper Myers in here, he is the gamble. Not really seen too many minutes so far at Juventus, but he is in that early kickoff bracket, so we will get to see the team selection news ahead of the game starting. So if it doesn't work out, we could very easily take him out. Next up is going to be Musiala. Now, I really, really want to attack this fixture for Bayern Munich. It's a great fixture, as we saw with the projected goal numbers as well. Absolutely outstanding, top of the list. It could be a 4-0 or 5-0 drubbing for, you know, Bayern to go and get this week as well. Now, he started the season pretty decently. However, the problem is he came off a half-time in the game over the weekend. Now, whether or not that was a rest and rotation, or maybe a similar thing's going to happen, I am a little bit concerned in that regard. However, for right now, I still feel like I want to attack that fixture. And Musiala, again, one of my favourite players to watch in world football. Next up is going to be Dembele. They've got 2 great fixtures. Again, we spoke about it with Hakimi. I really, really want to target this PSG. Again, they're up there for projected goals. And so far, he has got 4 goals and 2 assists in the opening weekends of the season. So a really, really good pickup. I know obviously a lot of people are looking at Barcola as well, who's obviously got 4 goals across the start of this season as well. Again, another fantastic pickup that definitely could be worth a little bit of a gamble. Moving on to our bench, we've got Florian Wirtz, 3 goals, 1 assist to start the season. Again, like we outlined with Grimaldo, great fixtures in match day 1 and match day 3. Again, fit in our strategy. And then we've got João Neves, 4 assists for him so far, 5.5 million. I think he's just a great budget option, and again fits with our strategy of decent fixtures in match day 1 and match day 3. Right, let's head into our forwards, and as you can see, there's a pretty big absence. There is no Mbappe, there is no Vinicius. Now, that one could come back to bite me in the arse. We did see decent projected goal numbers for these guys. However, I believe that all the forwards we've got in here could outscore them over the opening couple game weeks that we are obviously targeting with our initial draft. Gyökeres has 8 goals in 5 games so far this season, and Sporting are flying as well. Like I outlined with the defender, they have got some of the best fixtures coming up, and I think at 12% owned, he could be a mega differential. A guy who's just continually scoring goals, and it's baffling me that he's not had that big money move out of the Portuguese league yet. So we're going to back him. 2 great fixtures in Matchday 1 and Matchday 3 that obviously we're looking at, and I feel Sporting will be looking at both the Lille game and the game against Stahlgraz as their kind of way out, or at least a way to progress into the latter stages of this competition, picking up as many points as possible early doors as well. Next up is going to be Haaland. Again, another forward who's just absolutely on fire at the moment. 9 goals in 4 Premier League games is unreal. Despite on paper a more difficult fixture against Inter, the data is still suggesting that City should be completely fine for this, and the projected goal numbers are still great. Again, they've got an amazing fixture in Matchday 3, so fits our strategy. Obviously, we don't have to worry about the game week 2 fixture, because at that point we will have already, hit that limitless chip, and we'll be kind of probably on triple City at that point anyway. And then finishing up is going to be Harry Kane. I think for that first day, he is going to be our best captain. We can obviously switch to Haaland for the second game, and then we do have the likes of Florian Wirtz available if it does come down to the 3rd game week. But for me, with the really good projected goal numbers, obviously as we get closer, we will start to look at anytime goal scoring odds, but I imagine Harry Kane will be through the roof on both of those as well. 6 attacking returns in 4 games, and like I said, best projected goal numbers for Bayern Munich at the start of this season. Let me know what you think of my team. Obviously, it's a little bit different to some of the other content creators. However, I have outlined the strategy that I am going to be going for, and hopefully it can pay off, and we can obviously, start to move up the ranks. Like I said at the start of the video, there will be a deadline stream at, I think, 3:45 on Tuesday. Obviously, if you are new around here and, wanting to see more UCL content, make sure you're hitting that like button, and of course, subscribing with the bell notification on, so you will be notified when I do go live on Tuesday. But thank you very much for watching today, ladies and gentlemen, and good luck in Matchday 1.